This is Brownie's Podcast!
Oh, yes. Welcome, degenerates. It feels like it's been a long time, but it hasn't, right? When was the last pod we did, Dog?
Last Monday.
Really?
So now we're back to one. The week goes, really slowly.
Yeah, I'm looking on the computer screen because Jonathan's up north, and what I'm seeing on the screen is a man who's not Jonathan Brown. His name is Summer John.
Yes.
And the difference is, Beck, what do you think of Summer John? The hair starts
The growth.
growing, the growth.
Well, I'm loving the cap first and foremost, so...
He's up
Well,
and
I'll
about.
talk about that because that was for the Matty Rogers Golf Day, which we'll get to. I've got a story out of that one, but I'm loving Summer John. I'm just trying to cherish it, Dino. I'm 5 days into Summer John. Of course, I saw all you guys last Monday. Not that I can really remember it. I vaguely remember being there, but it was fun. But you're right, Brown Dog, you asked me before we come on air, how's the detox going? And it's going swimmingly up here. Just family time.
Yeah.
Avoiding any bad influences in my life, including you guys.
That grand final week almost killed me.
Yeah.
I reckon I was cooked before the grand final came. Did you go to September Club? You were there, right?
Yeah. But it took me a few days. I do Cleanse Monday, which is salmon sashimi, a lot of water, a bit of exercise, and then a sauna. Right, that's my cleanse Monday.
It's been
I had to
cousins
do a cleanse week, mate. I had to do a cleanse week. So
October it is. Hello,
It was
Brody.
hard. Well, I couch was Monday night, Dino.
Oh yes.
At 6:20, I still had the shakes up. The cameras roll at 6:30, so I thought, Jesus, this is going to be tough, but I managed to get through.
John, you were there too, but we did a 7-hour session with Gary Lyon, and that man, he is hilarious. I love Gaz. He's the best.
He did mention the bill a few times because I left early to go and pick up my wife and just make sure she was okay. And he did sort of lean on me 2 or 3 times to just remind me what the bill came to.
John, no, we were at Nobu, and Pang and Gaz covered the bill. And when Sam looked at the receipt, he clutched his chest. John,
I'm going to put it on the record that I did give Pang 200 cash when I left.
And Timmy Notting was there. It was an amazing day. Hello, bros.
Hello, boys. How you going?
We've got some great audio to get to today, but so we've already covered, because I can't get my head around. We covered the grand final, right, already?
we've covered it. Yeah, well and truly.
It's been so long.
Well, now we're smack bang into the start of trade week, which Brodie's all over, but there's already been a fair bit going on.
Headlines.
The Clayton Oliver thing. So he very nearly, well, I shouldn't say left Melbourne, but Melbourne were taking offers for anyone that wanted Clayton Oliver, who's one of the most high-profile players in the game. I think Oliver's been having some issues off-field, and Melbourne were pretty much sick of it and said, unless you're going to commit and be the player that we are paying you $1 million a year, you're not going to be a part of Melbourne.
Dog, what's all this bullshit about Clary Oliver and his off-field stuff? Does anyone actually know anything?
No one actually knows. He's a 4-time best and fairest winner. He's a star. I think it was just a shot across the bow to him, say, pull your head in. No one's expendable, at this footy club.
And, well, the man's 25. He's moved back in with the captain. So that tells you there's
So is
there's
that
something
true?
going on.
Because I was just trying to sort through the different information in the articles, bro. So hopefully you can, all of you guys can give us some clarity on that. Because, yes, did he move in with the captain?
Yes, so he's moved, from what I believe, from my sources, is that he's moving back in with Max Gawn and his wife, Jess.
Are we looking for clarity? Is that what we're saying?
Clarity.
What, so he's in Maxie's pool house? What?
Yeah,
Huh?
but he owns a property somewhere, but he's moved out of that and moved back with the captain for some
Fev
stability.
came and stayed with me. Fev came and stayed with me for a couple of nights.
That went well, Doc. That went
It
real
didn't
well.
end that well.
Harley Bennell came and stayed with me as well, mate. It's
When Fev was staying with Brownie, debt collectors kept bashing down the door.
What's it actually like having someone stay with you like that, JB? Like, what is it like having Fev in your back room? Tell me about it.
Well, it's challenging because CEB always been a great sponsor of mine, and they were adamant that they always had my bar fully stocked, and the guest room was, I would say, 4 metres from the bar, where there was always full kegs running. So not great. I had Sammy Sheldon live with us once, a young Sammy Sheldon. He had a good year, and it was awesome because we used to play NFL Live, on Madden.
What, did you used to play video games, John?
Mate, that was the only year I played video games, so it was sensational. Go straight down the couch, and me and Sammy would play Madden.
No shit.
We were like 15-year-olds. Carl was pretty keen to get rid of Sammy by the end of that year, as you can imagine.
Do Melbourne, do clubs say if you have a player live with you, do they cover the expenses or something? What's in it for the player? Like, what's in it for you looking after Harley Bennell?
Well, you just take a senior role to nurture them, teach them, the right habits of being a professional.
So what were you and Harley Bennell doing, example, on a Tuesday night, for example?
Well, before Harley Bennell lived with me, I lived with he lived with me, a guy called Bo Dowler. And he'd been an emergency, probably 8 weeks in a row, so he was right on the cusp of senior selection. And he finally got picked to play, I think we were playing Collingwood or something on a Saturday night, and he rang me in a real panic at 5:30 on a Friday afternoon. And he goes, mate, I think someone's stolen my car. I said, what do you mean they've stolen your car? He goes, well, I parked out the front of the Auburn Hotel. I went in there and put a couple of parlays on in Singapore for tonight's racing. I've come back out and my car's gone, and my footy bag with my boots and everything for tomorrow is in the back of the car. Oh, wow. And I said, mate, it's a clearway. It's between 4 and 6, so it's been towed, right? And so he panicked. He didn't know what to do, so I had to ring up Abbotsford, where they towed the car, and organise a lift for him to go there so he could get his boots and all that sort of shit. Anyway, he was so flat, right? Because you got to pay the parking, the toll, and the fee for the getting it towed and everything. It's $600 or $700. Yeah, and we're sitting there watching the Friday night footy, and he goes, "Oh, Browny, can you just flick it across to Sky One? That first leg of the Singapore parlay's about to jump, right?" And so I flick it across, and it wins. And he's got one more leg to go, and he's like, "Oh, it's just so silly. I should never have gone there and put this bet on. It's just ridiculous." And now my preparations. And then it gets to 9:30. He says, "Oh, Browny, can you flick it across to Singapore races? That thing's about to jump." Anyway, I flick it across. Mate, it wins.
Yes!
He wins a fortune. Yes. He goes back down to the Auburn Hotel to collect. Doesn't come back for an hour. Comes back with even more money. He'd won on trackside. He'd had a few more bets, mate. He had the night of his life. he went out and bought king-size bed sheets for his bed. He came back and realised he's only got a queen-size bed. All sorts of shit went on. I don't think he played that well the next night, though.
I don't think he didn't have to pay the towing bill, though. I think Mel Gold paid for that.
Mel Gold. Hey, now horses are in play. We're speaking about horses just there. We're going to get this audio out now, dog. Now, can you set this up?
Well, JB, he owns plenty of good horses. He's a Group 1 winning owner. I get up to the Magic Millions every year in January. There's horse sales right around the world. You can go to New Zealand, to Karaka, all around Australia, overseas.
How does it work?
So they just basically, the breeders breed a horse, needs to pass the vetting and everything, and then they bring it out and they auction it off
and parade
to a live auction. They parade it around a ring.
Yes.
And the ring announcer, the auctioneer, basically says, this is the breeding. This is a yearling, which means a 1-year-old out of, the mare.
Stats.
By Schnitzel or whoever's the great stallion. You pump it up saying, it's one of the great horses. And their job is to always really build this horse up so they can get maximum price.
Sort of like an auctioneer, like they're selling a car.
Correct.
Almost.
But
very valuable item.
And they go for 1, 2. We had a horse win on Saturday in the first at Flemington that someone paid $1.6 million for. So,
wow.
But the one thing you always need to do as an auctioneer is if there's any cuts or abrasions or there's something wrong with the horse as it's going around the ring, you need to tell the audience for clarity and for full disclosure.
Okay.
So, it happens all the time, but I've never heard it described like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, with respect to 164, this colt was born with a developmental abnormality of the penile sheath and an undeveloped penis. The testes and scrotum are normal. Just checking this not from my mother. Okay. After the birth, the colt could not protrude his penis and urinated into the penile sheath where the urine accumulated. Surgery was performed to correct this condition. After 2 surgeries, the accumulation of urine in the penile sheath was corrected, but he still has difficulty to protrude his penis. Care was taken not to resect the penile sheath to extend the penis protrudes permanently out of the penile sheath.
Jeez,
This
what
colt
a
is
piece.
clinically normal and in good condition. His kidney function is normal. He urinates normally through, although the penis stays in the penile sheath due to the short penile length.
Short.
Wait, there is more. Due to the shortened penile length, he may have difficulty in breeding successfully. Wait. This condition should not have any influence on his athletic ability or his ability to be an auctioneer. Righto. That is the situation. I've read a few vet reports in my life, but that's one of the better ones. I might keep it and frame it. Anyway, his nickname's Steve.
Isn't that unbelievable? I'm not sure what price the horse went for, but that is classic stuff.
You wouldn't be pulling the checkbook out, would you, Brownie? You'd be a little bit nervous.
It'd just be running
that's
for
amazing.
prize money, I don't think. They need to geld that
Is
pretty
that,
quickly.
I'm going to toss up something. I'm not sure we could do a poll. It's probably a bit too long-winded, Beck, but is that the greatest audio that's been brought to this podcast?
It's up
or
there,
is
man.
it the Mel Brown garage audio? It's neck and neck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which ones very rarely you get audio that you can sit back and every time you listen to it gets funnier.
Yeah. Remember
Mel's
that
is
audio?
like that, and that audio is.
You remember the audio earlier in the year I brought about the guys, the British lads, went on a trip over to Africa, and one of the guys walked in, and that monkey was sucking off his mate.
That's right.
And that was pretty funny
That is
audio.
right. That is,
Funniest,
funny, disturbing,
funniest- funny, disturbing, not sure. Funniest vision I ever saw, the one in that category which gets funnier and funnier every time you watch it, is Pang loves playing on the front bar. The footage of the Game of Thrones round for Fox Footy, when Dermot, our man Dermot, dressed as Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, and Cal Ward done his knee and was crying on the bench after just being told the news, you're out for 12 months, you've done your ACL. And then they crossed back to the studio where Doomy was dressed as Khal Drogo with no shirt on, face paint on, a full wig. It was unbelievable. Talking about a very emotional situation.
all right. Hey, I was at an art exhibition.
Yeah.
It's the circles I travel in, an art show.
It's different.
Sipping champagne, and I met someone. And John's just dying. I think the pollen's getting to him. By the way, how bad's the pollen in Melbourne? You guys sucking that in? Does it hurt you?
It's guaranteed not the pollen for JB. I saw him have about 46 darts over the space of about 12 hours. So fair to say
Allegedly.
that's got something to do with it.
That was
Allegedly.
38. That was, how long ago? That was a week ago. You idiot.
Hey, anyway, so I was at an art exhibition. I met someone, and I want you all to listen to this. Hello, Jeff. I'm Dino. Nice to meet you, man.
Dino, what an occasion this is. Two great men.
Two great men.
Run into each other, and here we are.
Enjoying fine art.
Fine art. Beautiful art. So, Dino, what's your point? Please
Now,
get
okay,
to-
I've got a question. On the off-season, our podcast, we need content. Can Campbell, Jonathan, and I come to your house, to your famous whiskey room, and play a board game with you?
No.
Come on, man.
No.
Why?
Well, nothing personal.
Yeah.
But I don't let riffraff into my... you know, it's a very exclusive... I'll meet you on the street in the gutter if you like.
Hey, I'll play on the median strip.
Oh, you can come to my office, but not to my man cave.
Okay. Would we go to Jeff Kennett's office to record some shit?
No, we'll go to his man cave, mate.
You'll get us in?
Yeah, I'll get us in. I
Have
think
you
the
been to
riffraff he was
what's he
talking
like?
to was...
Explain the whiskey bar, Brown Dog.
Well, I've never been there. I know that Trent Crode used to go in there quite regularly. They were neighbours. And I truly believe the riffraff he was talking about was you two, not me.
Yeah.
You know, obviously being, you know, one of his favourite back in the days.
You and him got along well. Oh, you joking?
Jeff, no, mate, of course I love him. Former great premier of this state. He's a staunch Liberal man. He brought success everywhere he went.
Everywhere.
So, yeah, he'll be right.
So if you get us into the whiskey room, can we play like Never Have I Ever or something with him?
Yeah, and balderdash. He'd be great at that. You know, where you've just got to make something up and pass it off as bullshit.
Yeah. So can I leave that with you organising?
Yeah.
John,
we
we're
always get things done when we talk about him on this podcast.
John, we're going to Jeff's house.
Absolutely, I can't wait. We've got to get into the whiskey bar, though. I've heard about it. I think Pang's been there.
Yes.
I think several others have been there as well. Hey, Did Jeffrey make many appearances in the locker room or in the meeting room?
All the time.
Did he come in sort of all guns blazing?
He'd
big
have his
fiery
jacket.
Speeches?
Remember, he'd turn his jacket inside out, like Joffer-esque.
But that was public in the grandstand, though. Would he come and try and razz you boys up before a game or give you a blast after a bad loss?
Absolutely. I remember the start of every single season, he would come into out to Waverley, into the theaterette, and he'd call a whole meeting, not just the players, but the whole of the Hawthorn Footy Club, and basically stand there and say, on behalf of the 80,000 members that we have, I am the president, but I'm standing here on their behalf, and at this football club, we are here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to win premierships. So I don't care if you make the 8. I don't care if you make the top 4. Every single season that Hawthorn doesn't hold the cup aloft is a failure of epic proportions.
Hey, aloft, John.
That was magnificent, Brown Dog.
So that was the standard that he set. They were only there to win flags, and so they want to get back to it.
Kudos to Brown Dog for that. That wasn't teed up, by the way, to all the listeners out there. That was just ad hoc.
Yeah, you were like possessed by Jeff Kennett there.
No, he's a great man.
That was unbelievable.
There's Martin Luther King, there's Braveheart, and there's Jeff Kennett in terms of inspiration.
Coming up, one of our listeners has had a go at Brodie, and it's got personal. Brody, you've copped a bit in public, and mate, it's not very nice. And I'm going to defend you more.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I was at the provincial Saturday night with a few people, and I was getting in headlocks. People coming up to me, WBT. We got a lot of drunk people that love this podcast.
WTB, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said, didn't I? What did I say?
You said WBT. Where's Brian Taylor?
Wow. Anyway, some more Brodie comments that was chucked at me. But one in particular has had a go at you, and we're going to call him during this podcast. Is that right?
Yes, we are.
And that's coming up real soon.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned WTB, Dino, because last night at the National Inclusion Carnival, where I was emceeing with Spider Ever, an old teammate of yours, Brown Dog, it's for the intellectually disabled or impaired, so it's fantastic. It's the national championships. But on the way out, the Tasmanian bus driver, in a parting shot, as I drove away in the Prado, he yelled out and said, "Hey, Brownie." I said, "What?" And he goes, "WTB, baby. You got to bring it back."
It's good, isn't it?
Bloke, he was probably about 70 years old. He had this massive goatee. He looked like he'd just come out of the woods in Tassie. He wants WTB back, and I reckon it was about the 3rd or 4th mention on the night.
No shit.
So,
and here's a curious thing. That was early in the podcast where you went hard on that.
Yeah, it's the people's call. You know what I mean?
I was against it. I thought it sounded dumb, but you can't deny that people are saying it a lot.
If you're a real supporter and a proper loyal listener, you go into your Instagram, right, and you just write WTB on your bio. I've got it in my bio.
Is that what you
it's
do?
like secret society.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see who does it.
John Wick style.
Yes.
WTB came out a lot at grand final. I got yelled out heaps.
Jesus.
Especially late in the day by all the Collingwood nuffies.
Imagine all the WTB people together in one room. That would be the sight to see.
A real collection of great minds.
Meeting of Mensa.
All right. High
I'm sure
achievers.
it'd be great. Just a quick shout out. So all the best to those boys that are playing in the chat. And I love Josh Corrie. I got him up on stage to interview. The captain of Queensland, Dino, you would love this for confidence. I asked him, where do you play? He said, I'm a forward. I said, what are you predicting tomorrow, 5 or 6? Just get off to a good start. And he said, I'll kick 10 tomorrow.
Jesus.
I thought, and all the players, all the opposition players were sitting in front of him, only metres ahead of me.
That is confidence.
So all the best to the lads getting out there. Get stuck into it.
So we're going to take ads, and then we're going to come back, and Brodie's going to confront a disgruntled listener, and I think we're going to do a test about who knows more about football, you or your person that hates you.
Yeah, he just potted me and said, listen, mate, you're useless and you know nothing about footy, so we'll see.
Ads, back in a second.
This is Brownie's Podcast!
Welcome back to Brownie's Podcast. We're going back to one a week while the footy season's off. But we should start following obscure sports. You're an NFL man though, right?
I sure am. Love it, especially Monday mornings.
Who's your team?
I'm a New England's Patriots guy who are going very badly.
Really?
Yep.
Shit, they lost this morning.
Tottenham in the Premier League, Ange Postecoglou. It's so crazy seeing a full Aussie guy. They love him in the press conferences. It's like Ted Lasso over there at the moment with Ange. They've had the best start to the season, Tottenham, since like the 70s or something. John.
He's huge too. And an NFL game was played at their stadium this morning, Dino.
Really?
So they must be playing away. The soccer season's on at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, but
the English Premier League, so
Yeah,
they must
right.
be playing away because you think that turf will get ripped up because you want the soccer fields all nice. They must bring in new turf.
Yeah, I guess similar shape and all that. All right, so
I think Kabaddi. What about Kabaddi?
Oh!
Where's Kabaddi season?
7-year
Come on,
anniversary.
Brando, give us an update.
It's a 7-year anniversary today of me captaining this country to their first ever game of kabaddi against India in Ahmedabad.
Mate, you had the weight of a nation on your shoulders.
Could you just explain what kabaddi is?
There's no more.
This day in 2016,
There's no more
Campbell
stressful
Brown,
time.
Captain Australia, in the Kabaddi World Championships.
Have you seen the photo of kabaddi? Do you hold hands and wrestle? And like there's a ball
It's
maybe
like
or
British
something?
Bulldog. There's 7 people each side, and a raider comes across and tries to make contact with the opposition and get back to their side of the court without getting maimed. And you hold hands that link up to try and catch them in a net. But there's no greater.
It's like Army Hammer's dungeon.
Well, exactly right. But you spoke about the weight of a nation, and there's no greater responsibility than when you're the captain of your country in any sport, right?
Particularly
You're out
kabaddi.
there representing your people.
Yeah.
And the level of expectation is even greater when you look across and you link up during the national anthem
Oh, yeah.
and you eyeball the opposition
Yes.
and you have no idea what the rules are. Or the sport. That's way harder than just the pressure of expectation.
Right, so you're up there with, Andrew Gaze, who captained Australia. You're up there
Stephen
with
Moore.
Sam Kerr, Steve Waugh. You're up there with all of them, are you?
Dog, were you the
No, I
Jonah
wouldn't put him
Lomu
above.
of kabaddi, would you say?
Yeah, I would say. I am.
I would say he's above those names, though, because how many of those are dual nationals?
Yeah, there's probably not
Remember
many.
Brown Dog, All-Australian. He's got an All-Australian jumper for AFL and an All-Australian jacket for kabaddi.
And-
how many dual nationals are there?
And played in the international rules where I was vice captain of my country. So,
Dog, yes or no, you got paid to play kabaddi?
incorrect.
It was a passion
It
thing.
was a passion thing. We really wanted to get it off the ground. I thought, honestly,
That went well.
I thought I'd be representing Australia in the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne next year.
But the problem is kabaddi's not in the
But
Commonwealth
we were
Games?
trying. We were trying to build it to such a level here in Australia and internationally that Australia would have a team.
Who is
You laugh, but I like that he tried it.
Who is the highest profile kabaddi player in the world?
Oh,
Mate, I couldn't tell you. but I know who the highest profile Australian kabaddi player is.
Campbell Brown.
It's the current Australian captain, baby. Sea-Dog.
Hasn't played in how long? 8 years?
7.
7 years, but he's still captain.
John?
Brown Dog, tell us the truth here. Was this? I know you like to speculate on the share market, and obviously your old man Mel has been very proficient at it over the journey. But was that a share play or a speculative play where you thought, I'm going to get in early? It's played in India. They've got 1.4 billion people. Imagine as the captain of Australia, if this explodes, I could be on $5 million a year within a couple of years.
There are some professional teams over there that were showing some international interest in players.
There are
And so I thought-
professional kabaddi players in the
Yeah,
world.
it's like IPL. They can poach players from any sport or any nationality and come and play there. I thought I'd get in at the ground level, JB, and I'd show such skills in India of my kabaddi prowess that I might get a professional contract. Yeah. Didn't quite work out.
Brodie, are you Googling? Can you Google who is the best kabaddi player in the world and give me their name?
They'd be on big money.
How big?
The opening night, that night that I'm talking about, Australia-India, right? We had 280 million watching on Star Sports.
Bullshit!
The AFL Grand
that is
Final just had
unbelievable.
5 million.
All right.
How could you not monetize that, Brown Dog?
Exactly.
We were so bad.
The current best kabaddi players in the world are Pardeep Narwal.
Yeah, Pardeep. Yeah,
Deepak Huda
yeah, Deepak's the defender.
and AJ Thakua.
Yeah, he's
Show
a
me that.
utility.
Do they look aggressive?
Mate, and they make
big
big
boys,
money,
actually,
mate.
look.
They make big money. I had put it this way: I had a police escort everywhere I went into Metabad, being an Australian captain.
Do you mean
blokes,
Underbad?
Ardabad, yeah. You blokes laugh.
We do.
But this was my reality over there.
Can you play again so we can go take this over to and watch you, man?
I'm in negotiations.
Yeah.
with Visit Victoria to bring out
Bring it over.
India
Yeah.
and maybe Pakistan to play here.
You're in negotiations.
And I won't be the captain this time. I'll be the coach.
The top.
Did Bollywood get involved at any stage? Like
Brett
yeah,
Lee.
yes, the Bollywood stars sitting in the grandstand, like front row, celebrity row sort of stuff.
We met the Prime Minister. Yeah, everything was. Yeah, no, we didn't see any Bollywood stars, but it was big time, mate.
You got a stat, Brody?
Yeah, so the highest current paid player in the Kabaddi League, Premier Kabaddi League, is Nitin Tomar, who's
How much?
making 34 million kronas.
Yeah, there you go,
Wait, what's
man.
a Cronus?
Yeah, we'll wait for the conversion. Before we...
34
Let's do
million.
the conversion.
I'm not going anywhere
Big
until
money
we
involved
convert
in
that. If that's over 100k, I'll be impressed.
No, it'll be in the millions.
In the millions?
Yeah, mate.
What?
Yeah.
So, Brown Dog, what would be the average wage? Once you get the conversion
Here we
done?
go.
Shit.
Here we go.
Sorry, it's the Indian rupee. I don't know how I got
Yeah,
confused,
Indian
right?
repair.
That equates to $641,592.
Telling you, mate, there's big money in Kabaddi.
What was that?
That's what you say when you're raiding. You have to
chant.
you have to chant Kabaddi the whole
war
time that
chant.
you're chanting, that you're raiding for 30 seconds.
What? Shit, there's a war chant.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, get into my world, lads.
All right, let's go to a degenerate listener of this podcast. Their name is
Kane.
Kane. We're gonna go with Kane. Kane has had a go at Brodie and just his vibe and his input into this podcast. Campbell, are you going to mediate this, or what's going to happen here?
I can mediate this. Yeah,
All right, let's
we'll
call
get Kane
Kane.
on board. And
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him a couple of questions.
So what did wait till he joins the flying? But what did he actually say on the Instagram?
Let Kane be present as Dog reads it.
Hello.
Kane, you son of a bitch.
Away, mate.
How are you, Kane?
Where are you? It sounds very noisy.
Just working. Working.
Working away, Kane. This is Campbell Brown from Brownie's podcast, mate. Now, we put up
Hello,
some
Brownie.
Dog's Dilemmas during the week, and you were the first person to reply to our Instagram page. And I'll read it out for the other listeners. My dilemma is Brodie. I can't go on anymore hearing that voice that he puts on when he's talking, especially when it comes to footy chat. He sounds as if he has a stick up his ass and does not even make sense half of the time. And to top it off, has all knowledge about sport. Please, Brown Dog, help me and help all of us. And
Shots fired.
I couldn't agree more, Kane. Could not agree.
Shots fired, Kane.
So we've got Brodie on the line here.
Absolutely.
Strong words, Kane. Strong words, mate.
No, the truth is the truth, if you ask me. The truth's in the pudding, mate.
He can't handle the truth.
Your
Sort of
response.
Jack Nicholson style.
Your response.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Like in the WWE, you have to have someone who plays the bad guy, and I'm the
There
bad
goes the
guy.
voice again. There goes the voice again.
Oh, you do too. Yes.
Hey, bro, talk normally, because you don't
Talk normally.
talk like this off air.
What do you mean?
Just
Just be normal.
like, for example, you say thus. You never say thus when we're just on the
I
street.
like it.
Mate, I drop thus into every conversation.
Okay.
Don't worry about that, mate.
All right, I'm getting in the way.
And
Keep
Kane,
going.
the biggest, mate, you know what? The feedback, we love it. We take it on board. And we ignore it most of the time. But what I really want to know is, what I took offence to most is the fact that you said I don't have any football knowledge. I like to think that
Yes,
I've got a bit of football knowledge and that I'm pretty good in that realm. But
Well, you
seem
think
to
you're the encyclopedia of the AFL. That's what you do. Mate, the way you carry on off the scene, behind the scenes, you come in with all this trade news, and this bloke's going that way, and Clayton Oliver did this, and
Hey,
old Knackers did that.
Jonathan, whose side are you on here?
I
We're
know.
trying to- he's
I'm
part
on
of-
Kane's.
All right.
Yeah, so what I've done...
I'm on Kane. He doesn't even know Kane. I'm on Kane.
So what I've done, Kane, is... And we'll just yell out your name, and Brodie yell at your name first
As our buzzer.
as the buzzer. I'm going to ask 5 questions.
All right.
And they're
Oh, you got
footy-related
the questions, Dog, have you?
Yeah, I've got them. I've wrote them out. So
Kane, if you win this, you get to decide a punishment for Brodie. Brodie,
Oh,
if you
let's
win,
go.
you get 3 minutes of just you talking on the podcast. Is that fair?
Beautiful. Sounds good.
These are high stakes.
Let's go.
Jeez, that's
okay,
gonna be tough,
so
listen.
the first question is, who won back-to-back Norm Smiths in 97-98?
Brodie, Kane first.
Oh, Kane got it in.
Andrew McLeod.
Bang.
I was
1-0.
going to say Andrew McLeod too. That was just a matter of timing, all right?
I actually don't even know the answer to this one, but I'm sure one of you will. How many goals did Buddy Franklin kick in 2008? Oh,
Kane.
Ooh.
Kane, it's too
It's,
slow,
it's
mate.
Brody.
It's 113, I think you'll find.
113. Okay.
Hey, bonus points. How many times did Buddy kick 100?
Brody!
What?
Brody?
1.
Broads.
Yep. Okay.
Shit, so
That year.
it's now
Wow.
2-1 to Brody.
Yeah.
Well,
What year did the Gold Coast Suns join the comp?
Brody!
Kane.
Oh,
Ooh, I will say 2012.
incorrect. You now get
the steal?
You get the steal.
I'm going to say 2009.
Incorrect.
Oh!
2011?
It was 2011.
It's got to go
How
11.
did you boys not know that?
I know.
That was documented by the Year of the Sun or the Rise of the Sun.
That's it. The award-winning autobiography that the Brown Dog wrote.
Campbell, bro.
Dog, Kane is at a very slight disadvantage here because being on the phone line, there is a very slight delay.
Is there?
Yeah,
No,
very
you're
slight.
kidding yourselves.
There's two more questions,
go.
and then there might be a tie. Name 3 initial GWS players. Ooh.
Kane.
Dean Brogan,
Oh my God.
Chad Corns, and Callum Ward.
Ah, yep, he won.
Correct.
This is unfair. We should have some sort of bloody...
Last question.
Kane, the delay is affecting Kane.
Last
100%
question.
it is, Dino.
And I might even offer a bonus
I'm
point
going to
here.
let him. No, hey, Brown Dog. I'm going to let Kane back into it. If he can name the first signing of GWS, it was a very controversial one. The football world could not. Yes,
Got it?
Israel Folau, Brown Dog.
He's back.
correct.
Oh, bang.
Well
there you
done,
go.
you're back.
He's back.
That's a bonus point. That's fair, Brody.
I wasn't even able to answer it.
No, but like you can just say Brody so quickly that he doesn't have a chance to buzz in. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the last question. What was Marvel Stadium's original name?
Oh,
Kane gotcha.
Telstra Dome, baby.
No, incorrect.
No, incorrect.
Incorrect.
Incorrect, my man.
It was?
Colonial
There you
Stadium.
go, mate.
Oh, no.
Colonial, back in the early 2000s, it was Colonial.
That
I'm not even
means
that old.
Kane, I want an official apology to begin with because unfortunately you've been shown up.
Off, Brody.
And he will too.
I doubt Kane's words.
That's how we're
My man, hey, we never apologise. WTB, baby.
That's exactly right, Brown Dog. That's exactly right.
Thanks, brother.
The things Kane just said to Brody, I doubt we'll get through the
There's
censors.
going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot.
Sure, that'll be cut out of the podcast. I would have thought, Dino.
Wow. Well,
Thanks, mate.
Kane, better luck next time, man. Next time he should come in. Where
Yeah.
do you live, Kane?
Face to face.
What city do you live
I'm
in?
in Melbourne, mate. I can easily come in. Let's do
Oh,
I-
the
I-
rematch, a live rematch?
Yeah.
That's what I prefer. Yeah, I reckon that's a bit more fair.
Because I believe the delay, John, and back me up here, if you believe it, I think it affected Kane today.
And I
Well,
believe
as the
that
judge.
Brody can be absolutely intimidated by physical presence.
Good
You
point.
kidding, eh?
That's it. Exactly right.
Kano, I had the overhead view, and you were definitely disadvantaged, Kano, because I was watching Brody, I was watching him intensely, and he was all over that microphone, and there's definitely a delay. So we need you live in studio for a rematch.
I'd love that.
Kano's a big boy too. I'm looking at his Instagram now. The big boy.
Oh, over it, Brody.
Kane is a liability. Anything can come. Hey, we love your work, brother.
See you,
Thank you,
mate.
Kane.
See you guys.
See you, game.
Look at him. He's a magnificent
He is.
specimen.
Big
He's
man.
batting overs too. He's got a lovely partner. Now, Broads, you should...
What are we stalking on Instagram?
we
mate?
were, yes, we pulled up his file.
Dean's clicked through to her profile now, which
No,
is
that's
nice
just
of him.
inappropriate and not true.
Dino slinked into about 8 of them, mates. now
Dino's back to
through
2018
Instagram.
now. He's going through the photos. It's about 15.
No, but if Kane does have any single chick mates, I just let it go.
Or
So
his girlfriend
you,
does.
you should be rewarded for that, I guess, even though you're at an advantage. What would you like?
Oh, just to know that you are one of the goats and one of the greats is good enough for me.
Interesting.
Well, what about we give you some time, then you can give us a bit of a trade update, free agency update, maybe when we come back, bros.
After
You're
the
expert.
ads, a trade update. A 1 minute long trade update.
All right, done.
Ads, back in a second.
This is Brownies Podcast.
Welcome back to Browning Podcast. Thank you for an amazing year. Our listeners, subscribe, tell your mates. We're going to have a lot of fun on the off season and get up to some mischief. John, you got some audio we need to get off here.
Well, I had the Matty Rogers Golf Day the other day. So Matty Rogers, another dual national, just like dual international, just like Brown Dog, played, represented his country in rugby union and rugby league. At his golf day the other day, one of his kids got autism, so he does fantastic things there. But obviously, it was a fair rugby league crowd. It was just played at the Glades on the Gold Coast. Great day. Must admit, the golf days, the way they're run on the Gold Coast, I would say they're a little bit looser than the way they're run in Victoria, Brown Dog. It's fair to say. Drink stations on every holes. People wearing wigs.
Nudity, yes or no?
Yeah, a little bit of nudity.
Sure.
Not a shirt tucked in on the day, so I'm not sure it would have went down that well at Royal Melbourne, but geez, it was a fun day. I met Greg Bird for the first time.
Who's Greg?
Former rugby league. He played for Australia as well. Now, Greg Bird, I would say, people knock me about my voice. It's a little bit raspy, but Greg Bird, he'd have to have the raspiest voice in Australian sport.
Now, was he on the piss or is this his actual voice?
This is his voice.
Greg, congrats on making the grand final, mate. For someone with your extensive rugby league experience, what's the best part of playing in the Gold Coast A-grade comp this year?
Best part is probably playing in the grand final for me. I've never played in a seniors grand final before. The last one was under 18s about 20 odd years ago. So I'm very excited.
That is erotic.
Is that because he got hit in the throat? Like, because Gary Dempsey, remember the ruckman for Footscray?
Yeah.
He got elbowed in the throat and damaged his larynx. He
Really?
spoke very similar to that.
That's full Macy Gray, John.
It's a good question, Brown. I must admit, on first meeting him, I didn't go with that question. I didn't know. I thought I might wait till the second time, having a beer with him. But tell you what, he's built like a bloody tree stump. You know, Greg Bird, Brown Dog, have you met him?
Oh, well, he was the captain of the Gold Coast Titans when I was up there. I just remember he went down to Byron one weekend and took a piss behind a car and got pinched by the coppers.
It wasn't
was a
one
big story.
weekend.
Did they fight?
It wasn't one weekend, Brown Dog. You know what the weekend was? It was, you know, it was after.
What?
It was after his wedding.
Really? So after his
Poor
wedding,
bastard.
he got locked up.
Locked up or a
Well,
fine?
I'm not sure. He might have gotten in a bit of trouble. He's probably. I don't think he'd be that happy if the stories led to this.
That's
The
stiff,
fact that I brought up meeting him. Like, now he'll get tagged in and he'll listen to
His
it.
legacy
He's trying
is
to
a
get
puddle
away
of
from
urine.
it.
I reckon you've got to be real stiff to get actually. Imagine how many times we've all pissed in
Mate.
public.
I had a piss in Northbridge in Perth, and then I heard ding ding. It was a cop on a huffy mountain bike. He's pinged me for $200.
Did he? You got fined.
It's an expensive week. Hey, speaking with my run-ins with the law, I get my license back in one
Oh,
day.
congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
The Suzuki Swift, John. I might drive up and visit you, brother.
Can't wait, mate. Can't wait. It'll be sensational. We'll get you up, mate. Can't wait to spend a bit of time with her. And just finish up with the golf day. The young fella.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to young Jack,
Yeah.
who I played with. Now, Jack was 23, 24, a trainee pro. Good player. And he finally got the Dutch courage up after a few drinks at about the 15th hole to say that once his mum took him to the footy to watch us play back in the prime of the Brisbane Lions, and he said his mum said, "Look down there, son," and pointed in my direction. I was warming up before the game, and his mum turned to him and said, "That's your real dad, son."
Oh, my God.
I'm a little bit concerned. There was some similarities.
All right. Hey, time for...
No, just big shout out to Brodie's wife and Beck. They've got the Melbourne Marathon coming up this weekend. And it leads me into, I mean, it's a great effort, 42.2 Ks, huge effort.
Beck, you're doing the full marathon.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
sick.
passed
How
out.
sick's that? A lot of preparation goes into that. Just this morning, I woke up to the unbelievable news that Kelvin Kiptum, hope I pronounced that right, has set a new world record for the marathon, 2 hours and 35 seconds. So this man, Kelvin, dropped 2-minute 51, average 2-minute 51 kilometres for the whole 42.2 Ks.
It's got drug cheat written all over
That
it,
is
John.
unbelievable. So he's
So
knocked
that's
over.
the official time now, isn't it? Because
yep.
it was in a proper race.
He beat Kipchoge's by 34 seconds. He's 23 years of age. It's one of the greatest athletic achievements of all time. So
Piss in a cup.
for all those people doing the marathon, including Beck, Good luck.
Hey, Beck, can I just say, drug cheating's bad for professionals, but you're not. You're just doing this for fun. So I'd consider drug cheating if I was. Consider it.
EPO.
I have it in the cards.
Okay,
if I need it.
Cool. What a world! And then we're going to finish with Brodie's 1 minute trade wrap up because he's won a prize.
Well, I hate narcissism and people out there that like to obscure their looks by Botox and lip filler and all the garbage that comes with it. There's a new trend over in China, and Chinese influencers are using fake belly button stickers, right? And they're putting them slightly higher above their belly button to make it look like their legs are longer. And this has gotten so popular on the Chinese app Douyin that the manufacturers are struggling to keep up with demand. So there you go. You can have a look. They're little stickers, fake belly button stickers. What goes on? What a world.
Yeah.
I know, not my best spot of world,
just a
but
couple of questions. No, I like this spot of world, Brandon. I just want to dig a little bit deeper. So what do though? Because how do they cover up their real belly button? Do they pull their pants up really high?
Yeah, they pull it up high and they show a little bit of skin, so that the belly button the fake belly button sticker is higher, and it gives a look of lengthening the leg.
And they put Sally's gap filler in their real belly button and just smooth it over.
So it make you look like you've got a really small torso. Wouldn't it make you look like out of proportion?
We've heard of some crazy things over the journey, and that came across my desk, and I thought, if we've got to pretend that we've got another belly button on our body, what goes on? What a world!
All right, well, Brodie, you've got a minute to offer something here. 1 minute only. You ready?
Yeah, you want a little trade wrap?
Trade wrap.
All right.
Starts now.
So Taylor Adams, who has done a hamstring prior to the Collingwood Grand Final, has decided that he's heading to Sydney to help boost their midfield. And now Port Adelaide look like they're going to lose Xavier Dersma before trying to bring in the likes of Sava Ratugolea, Margaret Zirk-Thatcher, and the great Jordan Sweep from the Bulldogs. And there's been a lot of rumour that's kind of circulated.
I can feel people getting angry.
And Joel Hamling from Freo looks like he's going to come over and also provide a little bit of backup. Brodie Grundy was the highest talked about.
He hasn't taken a breath yet.
So he's going to Sydney. He's going to be a new ruckman there and kind of transfer that for them. And Richmond obviously don't know what to do quite over there, so they're looking at a couple of players, but it also looks like Melbourne are in need of a forward. So they've got Tomlinson, who they want to get out. James Harms is going to leave.
I'm going to walk in front of traffic.
James Jordan, he's obviously taken off, so now they're looking for a bit more midfield depth, another forward. And who else have we got? The Hawks. The Hawks have been Ted Brockman. Ned Brockman. No, not Ted Brockman. The other Brockman.
Reckons.
He's headed over to Freo, so they're trying. And I tell you who is my favourite. Liam Henry's coming to St Kilda. St Kilda making some big moves. He's going to be one there. Caulfield's.
Oh God! Pretty good trade wrap. Not sure if anyone understood any of it.
Tom Duday going to Brisbane.
Yeah, Duday.
With
a new knee.
How is Sydney and Port Adelaide getting all those players, bro? So you mentioned Adams and Grundy.
A lot of rumour that
players I would have thought.
A lot of rumour that Ollie Wines is out.
Really?
Yeah, there's a bit of talk that Geelong have been into him as well as Essendon, and Ollie Wines looks like he might be on the trade table, which is big considering he won a Brownlow 2 years ago.
Go back and check this next week, Dino, or in a couple of weeks' time, because I think we've got to have some accountability in this podcast.
I agree.
So you've got to give a likelihood, like out of 10 likelihood that Ollie Wines is playing for Port Adelaide next year.
Any news on Lance Whitnell, brother? Nothing. Hey, can you definitely get Kane?
Is there a likelihood or not?
I would say he's still likely to stay at Port because he's got, I think, 2 years to run his contract, but he is, I believe, open to it, and it'll be about whether a suitable trade can be organised from one of those respective clubs.
Stop asking him questions. You'll just keep going on these runs. Brodie, brother, can you get Kane in? I want to see a rematch live.
And also, just before we go, a big shout out to Stephen May, who finished up his night in hospital after the Melbourne Best and Fairest. He ate some shellfish and had an allergic reaction. His face blew up and everything. So, get well soon.
What?
Very sincere.
What was that?
Stephen May was actually in the headlines because he threw Collingwood under the bus. He, in his Best and Fairest, he was up there making a speech.
Did the shellfish thing, was that real?
Yeah, that's real. No, that's proper.
Is this after he said Collingwood didn't deserve to win the premiership and that we're better than them?
I had a lot of people message me asking me if I was the chef, but I can categorically say I wasn't. All right.
And what'd you say? Get well soon.
All right, degenerates. John. Summer John, you let that beard fly, brother. If Kylie tells you to shave it, you say no.
I don't care. I'll be
Exactly.
celibate for the next 6 months. I don't care.
What's another 6 months, eh?
See ya, mate.